Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepumentary channel. Tonight, under the quiet night sky, as your breath begins to slow and your mind drifts gently away from the burdens of the day, let us open a soft yet transformative journey together. A journey to explore the true scale of the universe and the astonishing smallness of Earth within it. From a human perspective, our blue planet seems vast, towering mountains, deep oceans, continents that stretch endlessly across the horizon. But as we step outward, level by level, past the moon, past the sun, through the layered realms of the Milky Way and far beyond Earth, begins to shrink, to fade, and finally to disappear into the boundless sea of space. And it is precisely in that emptiness that we see not only the smallness of our world, but also the miracle of existence itself. Life, consciousness, love all blossoming on a single speck of dust in the cosmos. So before we continue, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a single revelation as this story unfolds moment by moment in real time. Tell me in the comments where you're watching, from what time it is there, and whether you believe we're hearing the whole truth about what's unfolding above our heads. And if you want to keep the signal alive, share this video on X, Facebook, Reddit, or even just with the people who still look up at night. You are the reason we can keep following the impossible, and for that, thank you. Tonight, let this gentle narration guide you into sleep, carrying you across immense distances and distant lights, until when you finally close your eyes, you feel more clearly than ever. Small does not mean insignificant. It is the beginning of wonder. Tonight, as the world around you grows quiet and the final thoughts of the day soften into the background, let your mind drift into a different kind of stillness, one shaped not by walls or familiar rooms, but by starlight. Imagine yourself sitting beneath a sky that feels almost infinite, a sky that has witnessed the birth of stars, the dance of galaxies, and the quiet rise of our own small world. And in this moment of quiet reflection, a gentle voice invites you to take the first step into a journey unlike any other. This journey will change the way you see Earth and the way you understand your place in the cosmos. In the dim glow of evening, those words feel less like a promise and more like a soft shift in perspective, an opening door. They are not meant to overwhelm you nor to dazzle you with grand revelations. Instead, they encourage something far more subtle, the slow expansion of awareness, the kind that happens when you allow yourself to simply breathe and listen. From where we stand, Earth feels enormous. Our continents stretch across thousands of kilometers. Our oceans run so deep that sunlight can touch only the very beginning of their surface. Mountains rise into the clouds, forests unfold like green oceans, deserts spread beneath the wind for ages. For most of human history, this was all we could perceive: a world that felt impossibly vast, a planet so rich in landscapes and life that it seemed complete in itself. And in a way, that sense of scale is natural. We measure size by the steps we take across the ground, the horizons our eyes can reach, the distance our lives can travel within a single lifetime. But the universe does not measure anything the way we do. If you let your inner gaze expand gently outward just a little, as though rising slowly above the trees, above the clouds, above the thin blue veil of atmosphere that wraps around our world, you begin to feel something shift. Earth shows her roundness. Her continents gather into patterns. Her oceans deepen into a luminous blue. The entire planet becomes a single delicate sphere suspended in darkness. And even here, in the first few hundred kilometers above the surface, something becomes beautifully quietly clear. Earth is not large. It only feels large because it is our home. When astronauts speak about their first view of Earth from orbit, their voices often tremble with emotion. Spacefarer Sultan bin Salman once said, "The first day or so, we all pointed to our countries. The third or fourth day, we were pointing to our continents. By the fifth day, we were aware of only one Earth." That is the power of a new perspective, the way it dissolves boundaries, the way it softens the illusion of size. So tonight, let this experience be gentle. Let it feel like meditation. Let the boundaries of your thoughts stretch outward as we slowly begin a zoom-out journey through the layers of the cosmos. Imagine now that you're rising farther beyond the altitude of satellites, beyond the orbit of the moon, where the Earth no longer fills your vision, but instead becomes a shimmering blue bead suspended in darkness. All of human history, every love, every triumph, every heartbreak, every dream, everything humans have ever known fits onto that single point of light. Carl Sagan once described this sight with the most delicate clarity, calling Earth a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Those words echo softly across the years, as calm and honest as moonlight a mote of dust. Not to diminish us, but to remind us of the wonder hidden inside humility. From this distance, Earth feels precious rather than powerful, fragile rather than dominant, beautiful in her smallness, not in spite of it. And yet this is only the beginning. As you breathe in slowly and let the air settle your thoughts, picture your viewpoint drifting outward even farther. The Earth and Moon draw closer together in your field of view, then merge into a tiny double dot of reflected sunlight. Nothing about them looks large anymore, not the oceans, not the continents, not the mountains. Everything melts into a single soft glow. And the farther you drift, the quieter it becomes. Space is vast, but its vastness is peaceful, not frightening. It is the kind of silence that calms the mind, the kind of emptiness that feels full of possibilities. This is the essence of our journey tonight, to understand that scale is not just a number, it is a relationship, a shift in the way we see, the way we measure, the way we understand our place in the universe. And when we allow ourselves to embrace that shift, something beautiful happens. We realize that smallness is not insignificance. Smallness is the beginning of perspective. And this quiet beginning, this gentle widening of the mind, is what part 1 is all about. It asks you to remember that while Earth feels enormous when viewed from the ground, within the vast structure of the universe, it almost disappears. But instead of letting that truth unsettle you, let it comfort you. Because if a world so small can hold oceans, forests, civilizations, consciousness, then imagine what wonders the universe must hold in its depths. Earth is tiny, yes, but the meaning we create here is immense. Tonight's journey is not about shrinking the importance of humanity. It is about expanding the canvas on which our story unfolds. So allow yourself to drift. Allow the layers of the cosmos to unfold softly around you one by one, like pages gently turning in a book you have always wanted to read. Let this be your invitation, not a command, but a whisper. Not an explosion of information, but a slow, calming revelation. A reminder that you are part of a universe so vast that even the greatest distances can feel like poetry. A universe where Earth is almost invisible. Yet somehow your consciousness is here awake, aware, listening. And with each passing moment, you're beginning to see the cosmos, not with the eyes of a traveler, but with the quiet understanding of someone who has finally stepped outside their own world. This is the beginning. This is the opening of a new cosmic perspective. And as you continue to drift through the stillness of the night, you may find that the universe is not distant at all, but gently unfolding around you, waiting to be seen. Earth at the human scale, large, diverse, expansive. And now, as we gently drift back toward the world we call home, let us look at Earth not from the silent vastness of space, but from the intimate scale where human footsteps measure distance, and memories shape the meaning of place. When we return to the surface of Earth after hovering through the darkness of part 1, the world feels familiar again. The sky gathers around us like a sheltering dome, the air presses softly against our skin, and horizons stretch outward in a way that seems impossibly broad. Here at the human scale, Earth reveals itself as something immense, something filled with texture and story. And in this closeness, we begin to rediscover the vastness that shaped our earlier sense of wonder. Earth is a planet with a diameter of 12,742 kilometers, but numbers alone rarely mean much to the heart. So imagine instead walking along the equator, not metaphorically, but literally one step after another, through forests, deserts, coasts, and open plains. At an average walking pace, without stopping and without ever turning back, it would take you more than 3 years to complete a single loop around the world. 3 years of changing seasons, shifting winds, and the slow accumulation of experience. 3 years of darkness and sunlight, of passing clouds and starlit nights. 3 years just to return to the place where you started. From the ground, this feels enormous. It feels almost infinite. If you stand on a mountain or look across an open ocean, the world appears to expand endlessly. And in a way it does. Earth's surface spans 510 million square kilometers, a number so large that it barely fits inside our imagination. Forests like the Amazon spill across continents. Mountain ranges such as the Himalayas carve lines through the sky. Deserts like the Sahara stretch so far across the horizon that even silence feels larger there. And all of this, every coastline, every river, every habitat exists within a single planetary sphere. More than that, every moment of human history has unfolded on this surface. Every empire, every village, every whispered conversation, every poem, every war, every act of love or cruelty. Every ancestor you've ever had walked somewhere on this earth, breathed this air, and looked up at the same moon. If we judge size through experience alone, Earth is vast. It is overwhelming. It is rich beyond measure. But size, as Parton gently taught us, is deeply tied to perspective, and the perspective we hold from the human scale, looking across landscapes, climbing mountains, crossing oceans, is only one version of reality. To understand this human scale more deeply, imagine Earth not from the viewpoint of satellites or distant cosmic observers, but from the ground beneath your feet. Feel the soil pressing upward. Notice how the air wraps around your body, thick enough to breathe, but thin enough to let light through. Above you, the sky seems like a world in itself, layered with clouds and wind and shifting colors. Here, Earth feels not just large, it feels complete, almost self-contained. For tens of thousands of years, humans believed the world was all there was. Not out of ignorance, but because Earth seemed too immense for anything else to exist. The oceans were boundaries, the mountains were walls, the sky was a ceiling. Our ancestors lived inside a world that felt boundless, but contained a world so large that it would take generations to explore. Even today, despite our scientific understanding, this sense of largeness persists. It lingers in the way we speak of nations, distances, landscapes, and journeys. It lives in our breath when we stand at the edge of a cliff or stare across an empty valley. It reflects in the way Earth wraps life in a tapestry of ecosystems and climates, each one a small universe of its own. And yet, something happens when we slowly shift our perspective outward. You may feel it now, a soft tug, a gentle awakening of curiosity. Because even though Earth feels enormous, that feeling exists only within the boundaries of human experience. The world is large to us because we are small, our footsteps are short, our lives are brief, our senses evolved in a scale that fits the Earth, not the universe. To put this into perspective, consider how far you can see on a perfectly clear day. 30, 40, maybe 50 kilometers if you stand high enough. Beyond that, the curvature of Earth hides everything from view. Our planet is so big that its roundness limits even our vision. We cannot see the whole of Earth, not from any mountain, not from any aircraft, only from space. And yet once we pull back far enough, the illusion of infinite size dissolves. But before we step into the cosmic scale once more, pause here at the human level and notice the paradox. Earth is both enormous and fragile, expansive yet limited, powerful yet delicate. This duality is at the heart of what makes Earth at the human scale so captivating. Because here we feel the weight of the world, its storms, its oceans, its tectonic plates. But we also feel its vulnerability, its thin atmosphere, its narrow habitable zone, its dependence on a delicate balance of temperature and chemistry. Scientists often remind us that Earth's biosphere, the region where life can exist, is razor thin compared to the size of the planet. If Earth were the size of a globe in a classroom, the breathable atmosphere would be no thicker than a sheet of paper. Life in all its diversity thrives in a film so thin that it is almost invisible on cosmic scales. Yet within that delicate layer do we find forests, birds, oceans, coral reefs, thunderstorms, civilizations, myths, fears, dreams, and every memory that makes us human. Earth's largeness is not only in physical size, it is in depth, complexity, and meaning. Our sense of scale is shaped by what we know. Here at ground level, Earth is the largest place we have ever touched. It is the backdrop of every story we've told, the cradle of every culture we've created, the canvas on which life itself paints. But soon, very soon, we will begin to rise again. We will step beyond the illusions of enormity and compare Earth not to mountains or oceans, but to space itself. And when we do, this planet that feels so big in our hands will begin to shrink into something far more delicate, far more precious, and far more extraordinary. But for now, breathe in the immensity of Earth at the human scale. Feel its weight, feel its textures, let its vastness lull you into a peaceful curiosity. Because everything you know, everything you are, begins here on this wide and living world, and only when we fully appreciate its greatness can we begin to understand the even greater truth. Waiting in the cosmic dark Earth is large until we compare it with the universe. Earth and the moon, the first step towards smallness. And as we stand upon this vast and living Earth so large at the scale of human footsteps, let us lift our gaze upward toward the quiet companion that has circled our world for billions of years, waiting to show us the first true measure of distance and smallness. When you look up into the night sky, the moon seems close enough to touch soft luminous drifting with a calm certainty through the darkness. Its light falls over oceans, mountaintops, and quiet neighborhoods alike, illuminating the world with a gentle glow that has comforted humanity since the beginning of time. Yet this familiar presence, this serene circle of light, is far more distant than our eyes suggest, and understanding that distance is the next step in our journey toward discovering how small Earth truly is within the universe. The moon orbits Earth at an average distance of 384,000 kilometers, a number so large that it escapes ordinary intuition. To put it in perspective, you could place 30 Earths side by side in the space that separates us from our lunar companion. 30 entire planets lined up like glowing pearls could fit across the gap. But our minds rarely work in such scales. We cling to what we can see, and what we see in the sky is a moon that appears modest, hovering comfortably above us, never hinting at the enormous void that lies between. Most illustrations mislead us without intending to. Textbooks, diagrams, posters, they bring Earth and the moon far closer together than they truly are. They compress the empty spaces, shorten the voids, and make the cosmos appear neat, symmetrical, and accessible. In reality, space is nothing like this. Space is vast, silent, and mostly empty. It is the emptiness, not the objects within it, that defines its character. If you were to draw Earth and the moon to scale and place them, the correct distance apart, you would need a sheet of paper much wider than a textbook. Even then, the space between them would appear startlingly blank. Earth would sit at one side, the moon at the other, and in between nothing but empty white space. This emptiness is the moon's first lesson. The universe is not crowded, its beauty lies in its distances. Yet even across this enormous gap, Earth and the moon share a relationship of exquisite balance. Their gravitational dance has shaped the history of life on our planet in profound and enduring ways. One of the moon's most essential gifts to Earth is the tides. Every day as the moon orbits our world, it pulls on the oceans, drawing them outward, then allowing them to settle back. These rhythmic motions have persisted for billions of years. They stirred the early seas, creating tidal pools where some scientists believe life first began. They regulate ecosystems, influence weather patterns, and provide a steady pulse to Earth's watery heart. Without the moon, our tides would be far weaker, and the living world, especially coastal life, would be dramatically different. But the moon does more than guide the oceans. It also stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, the angle at which our planet leans as it orbits the sun. This tilt gives us seasons, gentle summers, crisp winters, springs, and autumns filled with transformation. Without the moon's gravitational influence, Earth's tilt would wobble chaotically over long periods of time. Seasons would shift unpredictably. Climate patterns could swing wildly from one extreme to another. The moon anchors Earth, giving our civilization a stable environment in which life can flourish. In this way, the moon is not just a companion, it is a guardian. Quiet, unassuming, a gentle force that maintains the rhythm of our world. As we consider this relationship, something begins to shift inside us. The Earth, which felt so large from our own perspective, seems to change shape once we add the moon into the picture. Distances grow, scales expand. The comforting nearness of Earth's landscapes gives way to a more delicate truth. Our planet is not the center of anything. It is one node in a vast cosmic architecture, and the moon, drifting at such a great distance, becomes the first cosmic ruler. Not a ruler in the sense of monarchy, but a measurement, a standard, a guidepost for understanding astronomical scale. Once we grasp the Earth-Moon distance, our intuition begins to stretch. It becomes easier to imagine the vastness beyond, the gap between planets, the immensity of the solar system, the unimaginable spaces between stars. But before we leap outward again, let us rest for a moment in the emotional meaning of this quiet, orbiting relationship. Humans have gazed at the moon for as long as our species has existed. It has been woven into myth poetry, longing, and ritual. It has been a companion to ancient travelers, a clock for early civilizations, a symbol in stories about love and transformation. Its phases guided planting season spiritual ceremonies and the first calendars. Long before we understood gravity or orbital mechanics, the moon taught us to count time. And still today, when you stand beneath the sky and watch it rise slowly, steadily, you may feel something deep within you shift. A quietness, a recognition, a sense of belonging to a universe that is both immense and intimate. Understanding the moon's true distance does not lessen this feeling. Instead, it deepens it, because the fact that something so far can feel so close is a kind of miracle one that speaks to the power of perception, connection, and human wonder. Even now, astronauts who have traveled to the moon describe the experience not as a triumph of technology, but as a transformation of perspective. Standing on its surface, looking back at Earth, they saw our planet hanging in the void like a small blue ornament. Not enormous, not overwhelming, but delicate, glowing, fragile. Apollo astronaut Bill Anders captured this feeling in a single sentence. "We came all this way to explore the moon, and the most important thing is that we discovered the Earth. It is a gentle reminder that to understand the universe, we must first understand our own smallness within it, and the moon is the first teacher of that smallness." As you drift deeper into relaxation, picture the Earth-Moon system from afar, two spheres suspended in space, held together by gravity, separated by an ocean of emptiness. Their dance is slow, steady, eternal. It has lasted for billions of years, and in that dance something beautiful becomes clear. Earth is not alone, but neither is it large. It is part of a relationship defined by distance, balance, and fragility. And as we prepare in the next part of this journey to compare Earth with the Sun, the Moon offers a quiet farewell gift, the first true sense of scale, the first whisper of how small we really are. Earth versus the Sun, the first shock. And as the Moon's calm, distant presence begins to fade back into the darkness, another light begins to rise in our awareness, a light so powerful, so overwhelming, that it reshapes everything we think we know about size scale and the fragile place Earth occupies in the cosmos. From Earth, the Sun feels familiar, warm, comforting, a constant presence that rises every morning and settles gently below the horizon each evening. Its light grows gardens, warms oceans, and paints the sky with colours that soften even the hardest days. But the Sun in its true form is nothing like the gentle glow we experience from 93 million miles away. It is a cosmic engine, vast, ancient, and beyond the full reach of human intuition. When we compare Earth to the Sun, the first shock is immediate and absolute. The Sun's diameter is 109 times greater than Earth's. Imagine placing 100 Earths side by side like beads on a string, and still needing several more to match the Sun's width. And if we were to fill the Sun with Earths not across its surface but within its enormous volume, we would need 1.3 million Earths to fully occupy the space inside. It is here in this staggering contrast that our sense of scale begins to tremble. Earth, which once felt so enormous at the human scale and still significant beside the Moon, loses its sense of largeness completely. Compared to the Sun, Earth is no more than a speck, a grain of dust drifting near a colossal sphere of fire. Yet even this comparison understates the truth. Because the Sun does not merely dwarf Earth in size, it dominates our entire solar system. The Sun contains 99.86% of the mass of everything that orbits it. Planets, moons, asteroids, comets, dust, all of it together makes up less than 1% of the system's total mass. Jupiter, the giant of our solar system, contributes only a whisper of weight when compared to the Sun. Earth, delicate and blue, is almost invisible on the cosmic scale of mass. All the while, the Sun shines with a power that defies imagination. Every second, it radiates more energy than humanity has used in its entire history. The light that warms your skin on a gentle morning began as nuclear fusion deep within the Sun's core. Pressures so intense that hydrogen atoms are crushed together to form helium-releasing energy that races outward through the Sun's many layers. And even then, this journey takes time. A photon generated in the solar core may spend hundreds of thousands of years bouncing randomly through the Sun's dense interior before finally reaching the surface. Only then does it travel through space, swift, direct, unimpeded, arriving at Earth just 8 minutes and 20 seconds later. 8 minutes, for light the fastest thing in the universe, a reminder of the profound distance that separates us from the star that gives us life. When you open your eyes to sunlight, you are seeing something ancient energy that began its journey long before humans existed, now arriving delicately upon your skin. And in that moment, you are connected to the deep processes of the cosmos. The true scale of the Sun is not just physical, it is emotional, it is existential. To understand its size is to feel a shift within yourself, the kind that loosens the boundaries of your imagination. Earth becomes small, yes, but smallness is not a flaw. It is a clue, a gateway into understanding the beauty of our cosmic home. Let us imagine just for a moment standing far above the solar system beyond the planets, beyond the orbit of Pluto, beyond the frozen edge of the Kuiper Belt. From this vantage point, the Sun is a brilliant sphere-bathing space in streams of gold. Around it, the planets are not worlds with mountains and oceans, they are tiny points of light. And Earth is but a faint glimmer circling faithfully within the Sun's warm embrace. The entire solar system from this distance feels fragile, delicate, like a mobile suspended in an infinite cathedral of darkness, and at the center of this celestial sculpture burns the sun, the anchor, the sculptor, the heart. Its gravity shapes everything. Its light defines day and night. Its energy fuels the photosynthesis that sustains nearly all life on Earth. Its warmth determines climate growth and survival. Even the rhythms of our bodies, the cycles of sleep and wakefulness, are ancient echoes of the sun's presence. In this sense, the sun is not simply a star. It is a parent, a provider, a force that has watched over Earth for more than 4 billion years. And yet, for all its power, the sun is only one star among hundreds of billions in the Milky Way. It is ordinary, even humble, compared to the supergiants that burn blue and fierce in distant constellations. This truth is perhaps the second shock. Even the sun, which dwarfs Earth so completely, is small on the grand cosmological scale. But before we leap outward into that realm, before we compare our sun to the other blazing suns scattered through the galaxy, allow yourself to settle for a moment in this quiet realization. Earth orbits a star that is so large, so powerful, so overwhelmingly dominant that without it our world would be a frozen airless stone drifting in the dark. And yet from 93 million miles away, the sun appears small enough for a child to cover with their thumb. This contrast between appearance and reality, between intuition and truth, is the emotional core of Part 4. It reminds us that the universe is not built on human perceptions. The cosmos exists independent of our sense of proportion. And when we open ourselves to this truth, something beautiful happens. Our place in the universe becomes not frightening, but humbling. Not diminishing, but inspiring. Not cold, but astonishingly warm. Because from a star more than 1 million times our size comes the light that grows forests, the heat that stirs winds, the warmth that allows oceans to breathe. The sun is our reminder that even in a universe of overwhelming enormity, we are held by forces older, larger, and more magnificent than we can fully comprehend. And as we prepare to journey outward once more beyond the Earth, beyond the moon, beyond even the reach of the sun's comforting glow, this first shock of scale becomes our guide, opening our minds to the vastness yet to come. The solar system Earth fades into the background, and now as the sun's overwhelming brilliance begins to soften behind us, we drift farther outward into a realm where the planets gather like quiet companions around their star, and where Earth, once the center of our imagination, begins its slow fade into the cosmic background. When we leave the sun behind, not entirely, but just enough to see it as one luminous sphere. Among many influences, our perspective changes again. No longer are we standing beneath the warmth that touches us each morning. Instead, we hover at a distance where the architecture of the solar system begins to reveal itself. Here in this vast orbital landscape, Earth is no longer the focal point. It becomes a passing detail in a much grander design. The first thing we notice is how the planets arrange themselves in 2 distinct families. Closest to the Sun, 4 small rocky worlds, the terrestrial planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Compact, dense, and forged in the furnace of early collisions, these worlds feel familiar to us because they are made of stone and metal. Their surfaces hold mountains, craters, and plains. Their shapes feel solid, almost comforting. And yet, despite their individuality, these 4 planets are tiny, astronomically tiny. Beyond them lie the gas giants Jupiter and Saturn, followed by the ice giants Uranus and Neptune. These massive worlds are not just larger, they exist on a scale that bends human intuition. They are realms of swirling storms, deep clouds, and pressures so intense that hydrogen itself turns metallic. They do not have surfaces as we know them. They are spheres of motion and energy roiling from the inside out. Among them, Jupiter stands supreme, a world so enormous that it could hold 321 Earths within its volume. Imagine Earth blue, delicate, filled with oceans and life shrinking into a tiny marble. Now imagine more than 1,000 of those marbles gathered together just to approximate Jupiter's interior. Only then do we begin to feel the vastness of the outer planets, and Jupiter is not alone. Saturn, adorned with its luminous rings, is itself so large that it could contain over 760 Earths. From afar, Saturn's rings appear solid and sharp, but up close they dissolve into billions of icy particles, each one reflecting sunlight like a fragment of a cosmic mirror. The rings stretch wide, but they are astonishingly thin, only tens of meters thick in some places. They exist like a delicate whisper of ice circling gently around, a world hundreds of times larger than Earth. From this perspective, Earth begins to slip quietly out of prominence. The tiny terrestrial worlds, including our own, seem swallowed by the gravitational authority of the gas giants. Jupiter alone dominates the solar system, almost like a second sun, not in light but in mass and influence. Its gravity shepherds asteroids, guards the inner planets, and shapes the architecture of our cosmic neighborhood. Still farther outward, beyond Neptune's orbit, the solar system does not end. Instead, it unfurls into unimaginable distances. First comes the Kuiper Belt, a ring of icy bodies, dwarf planets, comets, and ancient remnants from the dawn of the solar system. Pluto lives here not as a lonely outcast, but as one member of a vast frozen community. The Kuiper Belt stretches billions of kilometers across, forming a borderland between the familiar planets and the deeper unknown. Beyond that lies a region so vast that it escapes simple description, the Oort cloud. It is not a belt, but a sphere, a distant halo surrounding the solar system like a bubble of frozen time. Stretching up to trillions of kilometers, it contains icy objects that orbit the sun so slowly that a single revolution may take millions of years. Some of the comets we see today began their journeys in the Oort cloud long before humans existed, long before Earth resembled anything like the world we know. When we consider these distances, the solar system begins to feel almost immeasurable, not because of its objects, but because of its emptiness. Space between the planets is so enormous that even traveling at the speed of spacecraft, it takes years to cross from one world to another. We're not living in a crowded family of planets. We are living in a cathedral of space where worlds are separated by vast corridors of darkness. This brings us to a powerful and humbling analogy, a scale model that helps our intuition catch up to reality. Imagine the sun shrunk down to the size of a basketball, a bright orange sphere you can hold in your hands. At this scale, how big is Earth would be a peppercorn, small enough to roll between your fingers, small enough to lose in the grass, small enough that its oceans, continents, storms and life would vanish into invisibility. And how far away would this tiny Earth peppercorn be? 8 meters, almost the length of a room, farther than most people expect. Far enough that if you placed the basketball sun on a playground, you would have to walk several steps before you could place Earth in its proper orbit. Even then, Earth becomes almost impossible to notice a tiny bead floating in a vast sea of emptiness. What about the outer planets? Jupiter would be the size of a large marble, but it would sit dozens of meters away. Pluto, if included at all, would be smaller than a grain of sand and would rest nearly half a kilometer from the sun. The entire solar system, once visualized through this analogy, becomes heartbreakingly sparse. Yet this sparseness is not cold or lonely. It is serene, it is spacious, it gives each world room to move, to orbit, to be what it is. As we drift through this gentle emptiness, we begin to understand why Earth fades into the background at the scale of the solar system. It is not because Earth is unimportant, it is because the solar system itself is vast beyond anything our senses were designed to understand. And in this vastness, Earth becomes a note, a delicate blue, shimmering note in a much larger symphony. From the moon's soft glow to Jupiter's massive storms, from Saturn's icy rings to the distant whispers of the Oort cloud, Earth is simply one world among many. But do not mistake fading into the background for vanishing. Fragility is not insignificance. Smallness is not failure, it is perspective. And this perspective invites us to appreciate Earth not as the center, but as a precious participant in a cosmic dance, one thread, in a vast tapestry woven from orbit's light, gravity and time. As we prepare to leave the solar system behind to journey into the star-filled darkness, where even the sun itself becomes just another glimmer, this sense of perspective becomes our guide. Because to understand the universe, we must first let go of the illusion that Earth is large. Only then can we begin to see its true extraordinary value. Beyond the solar system, distances between stars are infinite to the human mind. And so, as the planets shrink into faint points of light, and the sun itself begins to soften into a distant glow, We drift outward once more toward a darkness where even familiar measures lose their meaning, and where the true scale of the cosmos begins to reveal itself. Leaving the solar system is unlike leaving any place on Earth. There is no boundary, no edge, no line to cross. Instead, the sun's warmth simply grows weaker, its brightness slowly dissolving into the vast ocean of night. Behind us, the architecture of the solar system planets, moons, belts of ancient ice fades into a quiet memory. Ahead of us stretches a darkness so deep, so serene, that for the first time we begin to sense the immensity of the universe. It is here in this interstellar space that distances take on a meaning entirely separate from human experience. The nearest star to us, Proxima Centauri, lies at a distance of 24 light years. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, moving at the fastest speed the universe allows, nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. Even at this impossible speed, light needs 4 full years to reach that nearest star. In kilometers, that distance becomes almost incomprehensible: 40 trillion kilometers. 40 trillion. Our minds struggle to grasp numbers this large. They drift beyond the reach of memory, beyond the scale of landscapes, beyond even the dimensions of our solar system. What does 40 trillion kilometers look like? What does it feel like? The truth is simple: we cannot know. Human intuition was not built for cosmic distances. To understand this further, let us imagine Voyager 1, the farthest human-made object from Earth. Launched in 1977, it has been travelling outward for 47 years, moving faster than any other spacecraft humanity has ever sent. It has crossed the orbits of planets, moved past the edge of the heliosphere, and entered the realm between the stars. And yet, despite nearly half a century of travel, Voyager 1 is barely at the doorstep of the solar system. To reach Proxima Centauri at its current speed, it would need another 73,000 years. 73,000! Entire civilizations rise and fall in far shorter spans. Languages evolve, continents shift, histories unfold. If humanity placed a message aboard Voyager for distant beings, those beings would read it long after our own world had transformed beyond recognition. These distances are so vast that they defy not only our senses but also our metaphors. We can compare galaxies and planets, measure orbits and speeds, but interstellar distances stretch beyond every frame of reference we possess. And something remarkable happens when we confront that immensity. Earth disappears. Not visually, not figuratively, literally. From this vantage point, even if you turn the most powerful telescopes back toward home Earth, it becomes impossible to detect. It is too small, too faint, too deeply lost within the radiant glow of the sun. The entire solar system itself shrinks into a tiny spark, just another star-like point among billions. This is the moment when the mind begins to shift. The anchor of familiarity dissolves. Scale becomes fluid. You may imagine yourself floating in an endless peaceful sea. No borders, no edges, only a deep calm that stretches in every direction. The silence here is profound but not empty. It feels ancient, patient, eternal. Out here, stars are not close companions. They are islands of fire separated by gulfs so enormous that light itself struggles to cross them. And yet these gulfs are filled with subtle beauty, wisps of cosmic dust drifting like smoke from unseen fires, streams of charged particles, the faint remnants of ancient supernovae, all of it illuminated by starlight that has travelled for centuries before reaching your eyes. It is in this quiet that we realise something profound. The universe is not just large, it is spacious. Between the stars lies a serenity that invites reflection, acceptance, and awe. As we contemplate Proxima Centauri, the nearest of our stellar neighbours, we begin to understand that even the Sun, immense in its own domain, is merely one beacon among countless others. And the distance between these beacons is not like the distance between cities or continents. It is unlike anything we've known. It is space in its purest form, deep, dark, unbounded. A canvas so wide that individual stars become specks of dust upon its fabric. And still within this immeasurable space, Earth exists, tiny, invisible, yet home. It is humbling to realize that everything we know, all history, all knowledge, all laughter, all sorrow exists on a world so small that it cannot be seen even from the nearest stars. But this humility is not meant to diminish us. It is meant to open us. Because smallness in the cosmic sense does not equate to insignificance. It simply reflects our position in a universe far larger than we can easily imagine. Out here, drifting toward the interstellar night, we begin to appreciate the simplicity of existence. The faint hum of radiation left over from the birth of the universe, the slow movement of clouds of gas, the soft glow of distant suns, everything unfolds with a patience that humans rarely witness. Voyager 1 continues on its path silent and unhurried, carrying with it a message etched onto its golden disc, a portrait of Earth of humanity, of music and math and thought. Perhaps it will drift forever. Perhaps someday another form of life will find it, or perhaps after millions of years it will become dust itself. No matter what happens, Voyager's journey reminds us that exploration is not always about arrival. Often it's about understanding, about recognizing the vastness around us, and allowing that awareness to reshape our sense of self. And as you breathe softly, letting your mind float further into the peaceful dark between the stars, you may begin to feel something gentle awaken inside you. A sense of perspective, a sense of connection, a sense of peace born from knowing that the universe is wide enough to hold every question we have ever asked and patient enough to wait for every answer we will ever find. In this calm expanse, Earth disappears, but your understanding expands. And that expansion is the first step towards seeing the universe not as a place of incomprehensible distances, but as a realm of profound, serene beauty. Soon we will return to this journey. We will continue outward beyond the nearest neighbours into the architecture of galaxies themselves. But for now, let yourself drift. Let yourself rest in the infinite space between the stars. The Milky Way, a spiral galaxy 100,000 light-years across. And as we continue drifting through the quiet darkness between the stars, a faint river-like glow begins to rise across the cosmic horizon, soft, pale, and ancient, revealing not a single point of light, but the vast stellar home to which all these scattered suns belong. When you look up on a clear moonless night, you might see a hazy band stretching across the sky, a milky arc gentle and shimmering like dust caught in a sunbeam. To the naked eye, it appears delicate, almost fragile. Yet this pale ribbon of light is nothing less than the Milky Way, our galaxy, and one of the grandest structures the human mind can attempt to imagine. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy 100,000 light-years wide. To cross it travelling at the speed of light, the fastest allowed by the laws of physics, would take 100,000 years. 100,000 sunrises, 100,000 lifetimes. Inside this rotating, star-filled disk lie somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. Each one is a sun in its own right, many larger than ours, some smaller, some blazing blue and fierce, others old and fading red. And each may hold its own family of planets, moons, comets, and frozen worlds drifting in quiet orbits. The scale is staggering. But scale is not meant to overwhelm us, it is meant to open us. Imagine the galaxy as a grand spiral, its arms sweeping outward in luminous curves made of stars, gas clouds, nebulae, and dark matter. These spiral arms are not rigid structures, but living ones, dynamic and ever-shifting, like waves in a slow-moving cosmic sea. And our solar system. It is tucked gently within a small quiet region known as the Orion Spur, a minor branch between the Sagittarius and Perseus arms. Astronomers sometimes compare this cosmic location to a suburb, a peaceful neighborhood far from the bright bustling center of the galaxy, where stars are born in violent storms of gas and gravity. Here the stars are spaced comfortably apart, not too crowded, not too sparse, just enough distance for a stable sun, a stable Earth, and the long, uninterrupted evolution of life. From this vantage point within the Orion Spur, we orbit the galactic center at a breathtaking speed, 220 kilometers per second roughly. Yet the galaxy is so vast that completing one single orbit takes 225 million Earth years. This immense cycle is known as a galactic year. To put this into perspective, the last time Earth stood in this same position within the Milky Way, the supercontinent Pangaea was still forming. Dinosaurs had not yet appeared. Mammals would not exist for tens of millions more years. Humans not even a whisper in the universe. You meet every living being, every tree, every mountain, every ocean moves with the galaxy in a journey so slow and majestic that we never feel it, but so grand that it shapes the entire history of our world. And yet, despite this enormity, the Milky Way is not crowded. Its stars are separated by such immense distances that, Even if our solar system were shrunk to the size of a grain of dust, the next nearest grain would still lie several meters away. This brings us to one of the most humbling truths of cosmic perspective. On the scale of the Milky Way, the solar system does not merely look small, it vanishes. Try for a moment to imagine a scale model of the galaxy. If the entire Milky Way were reduced to the size of North America, the solar system would be smaller than a single cell floating somewhere in the air. Earth at this scale would not exist even as a speck. It would be smaller than a molecule, so small that no model could represent it. This is the moment when the universe gently reaches into our minds and loosens our old sense of importance. Not to diminish us, but to reveal a deeper truth. Smallness is not emptiness. Smallness is perspective. Smallness is context. Because within that small invisible dot lies a world of oceans and forests, storms and seasons, languages and music, love and sorrow, memory and hope. A world where life fragile and astonishing found a way to bloom on the thin surface of a tiny planet orbiting an ordinary star. As we drift farther outward in our imagination, the Milky Way becomes not just a collection of stars, but a story, a cosmic biography written in light. Stars are born in dense clouds of gas illuminated by the first sparks of nuclear fusion. They live for millions or billions of years, glowing softly into the darkness. Some die quietly, releasing their outer layers like petals floating into the void. Others die violently, exploding in supernovae that seed the galaxy, with the heavy elements needed for planets, oceans and life itself. You're made of this. Your bones, your blood, your breath. Every atom heavier than helium was forged in ancient stars that lived and died long before our sun ever formed. And so the galaxy is not just vast, it is intimate, it is ancestral, it is home. When we look at the Milky Way from Earth, we're seeing the combined glow of billions of distant suns, their light blended into a soft pale band across the sky. But from afar, far beyond the galactic rim, the Milky Way would appear as a delicate spiral, suspended in the darkness, its arms swirling gracefully around a bright central bulge. It would look peaceful, balanced, complete. Yet hidden within that spiral is a truth that the human mind can only approach through metaphor. We live inside a galaxy so large that our entire solar system is smaller than a grain of dust within it, and Earth. It is a fraction of that dust, a tiny vibration in the cosmic tapestry. But rather than diminish our meaning, this understanding amplifies our wonder. Because the fact that consciousness exists on something so small, in a universe so vast, is one of the most profound miracles imaginable. The Milky Way holds billions of suns, billions of worlds, and perhaps millions of places where life might try to bloom. But as far as we know, only one world in this entire galaxy sings with the voices of oceans and forests, the laughter of children, the questions of philosophers, the quiet breath of someone listening to this story in the night. Smallness is not a flaw. It is the very reason Earth is precious. And as the Milky Way stretches across the cosmic night like a glowing bridge between past and future, we prepare to drift even farther outward toward realms where galaxies gather like islands in a greater sea, and where the scale of existence expands once again beyond anything we have yet imagined. Galaxy clusters, superclusters, and the cosmic web. And now, as the Milky Way slowly settles into the distance behind us, its spiral arms fading like a dream of light, we begin to sense that even this grand galaxy is only the beginning, a single note in a much larger cosmic symphony waiting quietly beyond the horizon of our imagination. When we leave the Milky Way behind, drifting outward through a silence older than time, a new kind of vastness begins to reveal itself. The galaxy we called home, so immense, so filled with stars, now shrinks into a single glowing island. And as we continue to rise through the cosmic dark, we discover that islands seldom exist alone. Our galaxy belongs to a family, a quiet gathering of star systems bound together by gravity. Astronomers call this family the local group. The local group contains the Milky Way, the Andromeda Galaxy, the Triangulum Galaxy, and about 50 smaller galaxies, many of them faint and delicate like lanterns in the fog. From afar, the local group is not crowded. It is spacious, serene, with galaxies drifting in slow orbits around each other. The Milky Way and Andromeda. The two giants of this group are on a gentle collision course that will unfold over the next 4 billion years. Their stars will swirl together like dancers, creating a new merged galaxy, a quiet reshaping of cosmic history. Yet even this entire cluster, with its dozens of galaxies, is only one room in a far larger cosmic structure, because the local group belongs to something even greater, the Virgo supercluster. The Virgo supercluster contains over 100 galaxy groups, hundreds of billions of stars, thousands of wandering planets, millions of quiet, frozen worlds waiting in the dark. From our distant vantage point, this supercluster looks like a shimmering archipelago, a collection of glowing islands scattered across a sea so vast that space itself seems to stretch under its weight. Light takes tens of millions of years to drift from one side of this supercluster to the other. Even at cosmic speeds, movement here feels like drifting through eternity. But the universe does not stop at superclusters. It expands quietly, steadily, breathtakingly. The Virgo supercluster is just one thread in an even larger tapestry, the Laniakea supercluster, a cosmic continent containing about 100,000 galaxies. 100,000! Imagine for a moment a map of every city on Earth. Then imagine that each city represents an entire galaxy filled with billions of stars. This is Laniakea, an immeasurable expanse of galaxies flowing together like a river of light. Within Laniakea, the Milky Way is no longer enormous. It is a fleck, a whisper, a grain of dust suspended in a sea of stars. But even here the story continues, because superclusters themselves are not isolated. Far beyond the reach of even these galactic continents lies a cosmic architecture so vast, so intricate, that words barely suffice. We call it the cosmic web. The cosmic web is the largest known structure in the universe, a network of galaxies, gas filaments, and dark matter spanning billions of light years. If we could see it directly, it would resemble the delicate threads of a spider's web illuminated by moonlight, stretching unimaginable distances across the universe. These filaments are rivers of galaxies. The nodes where filaments intersect are superclusters, and the empty spaces between them the cosmic voids are vast silent caverns millions of light years wide. This structure, this grand web, is the framework of the universe. It is the skeleton on which cosmic history unfolds, and somewhere within that web, inside one filament, inside one cluster, inside one group, inside one galaxy, inside one tiny solar system, is Earth. A world so small that at this scale even metaphor fails. There is no comparison that fully captures the insignificance of our size within the cosmic web. Earth is too tiny, too faint, too ephemeral. It is not a speck of dust. It is not a quark. It is something smaller than both, something so infinitesimal that no model, no diagram, no human imagination can truly hold it. Yet somehow, impossibly beautifully, Earth is also a world of oceans, forests, music, breath, and awareness. A world where consciousness looks outward into the universe and asks, where do we belong? This is the quiet paradox at the heart of Part 8. The more we zoom out, the smaller we become and the more meaningful our existence feels. Because the universe in all its vastness is not indifferent. It is invitational. It opens itself to us slowly, gently, like a night-blooming flower. Each new scale reveals something deeper, another layer of complexity, another thread in the tapestry. The local group teaches us companionship. The Virgo supercluster teaches us structure. Laniakea teaches us belonging. The cosmic web teaches us connection. Not connection in the emotional sense, but in the literal physical reality of the universe. Galaxies are not isolated. They're held in place by invisible strands of dark matter. Clusters are not scattered. They follow the scaffolding of primordial fluctuations left from the Big Bang. The universe is not chaos. It is order, not rigid, but flowing. When we see our place in it all, from the scale of Earth to the vastness of the web, a profound stillness forms within us. A realization that smallness is not a flaw, but a feature. It is the condition that makes wonder possible. Because if Earth were large, if humanity were central, if the cosmos were narrow, there would be nothing to explore, nothing to question, nothing to discover. But the universe is vast, which means curiosity is infinite, which means our ability to grow, to imagine, to reflect is infinite as well. And so we drift here, suspended in the quiet architecture of the cosmos, understanding at last that Earth's smallness is not a source of fear, it is a source of meaning. It is the lens through which we appreciate everything that surrounds us. Soon our journey will take us beyond even this cosmic web into the full expanse of the observable universe. But before we move outward again, let this truth settle softly within you. In a universe of unimaginable scale, Earth disappears, but you, your awareness, your experience, your wonder do not. Because even the smallest point of light has the power to see the infinite, the observable universe, a scale beyond imagination. And as the cosmic web stretches out behind us, its filaments fading into the dark like threads of silver, we turn our gaze outward one last time toward a horizon so vast that it encloses everything we've ever known and everything we ever will. When we speak of the universe, we often picture stars scattered across the sky, galaxies drifting through the dark, or the gentle glow of the Milky Way rising over the horizon. But all of these, every nebula, every cluster, every swirling arm of starlight exist within something far larger, the observable universe, the grandest structure the human mind has ever attempted to measure. The observable universe has a diameter of 93 billion light-years. This number is so extraordinary that it resists all forms of comprehension. A light-year itself is already a monumental distance, the distance light travels in 1 year, speeding at 300,000 kilometers per second. And yet the universe stretches not for thousands, not for millions, but for billions of those light-years. Why so large? Because space is not static. It expands. The galaxies are carried away from one another by the stretching of space-time itself, like dots painted on an inflating balloon. The farther away a galaxy lies, the faster it recedes from us, not because it is moving through space, but because space itself is growing. As a result, the observable universe includes light that has traveled for 13.8 billion years, yet now lies so far away that its present distance is nearly 7 times that number. Through this expanding bubble of visibility, we witness the universe not as it is now, but as it once was, an archive of ancient light drifting toward us from the dawn of time. Within this cosmic bubble lie almost 2 trillion galaxies, 2 trillion islands of stars, dust planets, and mysteries, and within these galaxies burn an estimated 200 billion trillion stars. That is 200 sextillion, a number so large that counting each star by hand, even at 1 star per second, would take far longer than the age of the universe itself. Every star is a sun. Every sun has its own realm. Many harbour worlds. Some may cradle life. Some may shelter civilizations we cannot yet imagine. When we contemplate this scale, something inside us softens. Our breath slows. The mind stretches gently like a horizon, unfurling beyond the limits of sight. Because here, in this immense cosmic ocean, the solar system and Earth become so small that even metaphors begin to fail. But let us try gently to understand. Imagine the entire observable universe, the full sweep of 93 billion light-years compressed to the size of Earth. Not a continent, not a country, the entire planet. At this scale, how large would the real Earth be? It would be smaller than a quark. A quark is one of the tiniest known building blocks of matter, so small that even protons and neutrons are made from it. You cannot see a quark or touch it or imagine it easily. It exists at the boundary of the knowable, a flicker at the edge of physics. And yet in this analogy, Earth is smaller still, smaller than the smallest subatomic particle we have words for, smaller than a measurement we can visualize, smaller than anything that fits within the frame of human intuition. This is the moment when Earth truly disappears, not figuratively, literally. It is erased from every model we attempt to build, and yet, here you are listening, breathing, feeling the weight of your own thoughts. Here you are on a planet so small that it dissolves into nothingness when compared to the universe, and yet conscious enough to contemplate that universe. This paradox is not a contradiction, it is a revelation. Because the universe is vast not to make us feel insignificant, but to make us feel connected. We are part of a story far larger than ourselves, a story written in starlight time and gravity, a story where matter collapses to form galaxies, where stars ignite, where planets gather, and where life against almost impossible odds emerges to ask, what does it all mean? When we imagine drifting through the observable universe, we do not see chaos. We see pattern. We see beauty. We see a quiet logic woven into the fabric of reality. Galaxies cluster together in luminous knots. Superclusters stretch like bridges of stardust. The cosmic web glows with faint outlines of structure. Dark matter whispers through gravity's touch. Dark energy stretches space like a gentle breath, and through it all flows light, ancient, patient, full of secrets. Light from the earliest stars, light from the first galaxies, light from a universe still young, still forming, still discovering itself. When this light arrives at Earth at your eyes, your telescopes, your cameras, it carries with it a message from billions of years ago. A message that says you are part of this, you came from this, you are made of this. Because the atoms in your body, the carbon that forms your bones, the oxygen in your breath, the iron in your blood were forged in stars that lived and died long before the Milky Way took shape. You're quite literally the universe becoming aware of itself. And so when we speak of the observable universe being 93 billion light-years wide, or of galaxies numbering in the trillions, or of stars numbering in the billions of trillions, we are not speaking of something distant from you. We are speaking of your history, your origin, your home. As you breathe gently, allowing this awareness to settle over you, the vastness of the universe ceases to be frightening. It becomes soothing. It becomes a kind of cosmic lullaby, a reminder that everything is connected, everything is continuous, everything is woven into the same tapestry of existence. Earth is smaller than a quark when compared to the observable universe, and yet Earth is where the universe looks back at itself. Earth is where stars learn to wonder. Earth is where atoms learn to dream. Earth is where consciousness blooms on a tiny world floating in a sea of immeasurable space. And so, as we drift at the edge of the observable universe, gazing across its luminous expanse, let this truth rest softly within you. Smallness does not diminish meaning. It creates it. Because only in a universe so vast can something as delicate as life feel precious. And only in a universe so ancient can a single moment your moment feel miraculous. The smallness of life, absolute preciousness. And as the observable universe stretches around us so immense that Earth dissolves into something smaller than memory, we drift gently back toward a quieter realization that in all this vastness, the rarest and most fragile phenomenon is not a galaxy or a star, but something far more delicate. Life itself. Far out in the cosmic dark, beyond the spirals of galaxies and the glowing filaments of the cosmic web, a profound truth begins to settle over us like a soft blanket of starlight. Life is small, life is rare, life is precious. Astronomers estimate that there may be billions of Earth-like planets scattered throughout the universe, worlds with oceans, worlds with clouds, worlds orbiting gentle stars at just the right distance where water can flow and chemistry can play its quiet symphony. It is a humbling thought to imagine that Earth is not alone in its ingredients, not unique in its physical potential, and yet of all the planets we have observed, of all the stars we have studied, of all the worlds we have glimpsed through telescopes and probes, only one place has confirmed life Earth. A small blue world drifting in the suburbs of an ordinary galaxy. This is the paradox at the heart of existence. Life may be common in theory, yet impossibly rare in practice. And consciousness awareness, curiosity memory may be rarer still. When we try to imagine life on other planets, we often picture creatures with eyes and limbs, civilizations with tools and language. But the truth is simpler. We do not even know how likely it is for life to emerge at all. The transition from non-living chemistry to living biology remains one of the deepest mysteries in science. For billions of years, Earth was alone in its creativity. In the deep oceans near ancient vents, or in warm tidal pools, something subtle happened. Molecules learned to copy themselves. They learned to change, to adapt, to survive. And from that quiet spark, everything else, plants, animals, humans, unfolded slowly over time. Even if life exists elsewhere, the emergence of consciousness, the ability not just to survive but to wonder, may be among the rarest phenomena in the cosmos. Think about that for a moment. There may be endless worlds where chemistry has begun its dance. But how many worlds have eyes that look back at the stars? How many worlds have minds that ask questions? How many worlds listen to the quiet whisper of existence and feel something stir inside them? Perhaps very few, perhaps only one. We simply do not know. This is what makes humanity's curiosity so extraordinary. We are small, tiny creatures made of stardust, yet we strive to understand the entire universe. We measure galaxies, we weigh black holes, we capture photons that have traveled for billions of years. We imagine futures long after our own lifetimes. This ability to grasp the infinite while inhabiting the infinitesimal is one of the grandest paradoxes of existence. It is as though the universe has folded in on itself and through us begun to look inward. For a moment, imagine drifting above Earth, not in a rocket, but in a soft, dreamlike silence. Below you lies a world filled with forests, Oceans, deserts, storms, symphonies of life. Mountains breathe light. Rivers carve memory into the land. And across the continents, tiny structures glow with human presence, cities, homes, warm windows filled with laughter, grief, hope. From space, Earth is calm, but up close it vibrates with emotion. Each life is a thread. Each thought is a spark. Each person carries an entire universe inside their mind, memories, dreams, fears, stories, love. This is the miracle. Not that the universe is large, but that something so small can feel so deeply within it. Scientists often say that consciousness is the universe becoming aware of itself. If that is true, then every moment of awareness, every breath you take, every memory you hold is part of a larger cosmic awakening. You are a vessel for the universe's curiosity. Through your senses, the universe tastes its own existence. Through your thoughts, it reflects. Through your questions, it grows. And so the smallness of life becomes its greatest strength. Scale does not diminish value. Size does not measure meaning. Life is not precious because it is large. Life is precious because it is improbable. In the desert of cosmic space, Earth is a single oasis. In the ocean of uncertainty, consciousness is a single flame. And like any flame, it can illuminate the darkness far beyond its own reach. The more deeply we understand the universe, the more clearly we see how improbable we are. Every event in Earth's history, every collision, every climate shift, every fragile balance had to unfold with exquisite precision for life to persist, evolve, and awaken. We are the product of a delicate sequence stretching across billions of years. To exist at all is an impossible gift. To understand existence is a miracle layered upon a miracle. And so we drift through this cosmic reflection, gently letting its truth settle like soft dust on the surface of the mind. Life may be the rarest phenomenon in the universe. Consciousness may be rarer still. And you awake aware, listening, a part of that rarity. Let this understanding soothe you. Let it soften the edges of doubt. Let it remind you that even in a universe where Earth is smaller than a quark, when compared to the whole, meaning is not measured in kilometers or light years. Meaning is measured in moments, in awareness, in understanding, in the quiet recognition that life is fragile, fleeting, and unbelievably precious. As we prepare to move onward in this journey toward reflections on humility, history, and humanity's place in the cosmos, allow yourself to rest in this truth. You are small, yes. But your existence is a rare and unrepeatable event in a universe of near infinite silence. A spark of awareness that glows gently in the darkness, and that makes you, in your smallness, utterly extraordinary. Carl Sagan and the Pale Blue. A lesson in cosmic humility. In 1990, as Voyager 1 drifted toward the edge of the solar system more than 3.7 billion kilometers from home, NASA commanded it to turn its camera back toward the world it had left behind. The spacecraft hesitated for a moment as if preparing to take one final photograph before disappearing into the dark. And what it captured would become one of the most iconic, humbling images in human history. A single point of light. A speck barely visible suspended in a vast sunbeam scattered across the lens. A pixel so small it could be mistaken for dust. This was Earth. Our oceans, our continents, our forests, our languages, our myths, our countless civilizations. Every love story ever lived, every war ever fought, every dream whispered in the quiet of night, all of it compressed into a single shimmering dot. A pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan famously called it. In his soft poetic voice, Sagan delivered one of the most powerful reflections ever spoken about the human condition. He said, "That's here, that's home, that's us." And as those words echo through the imagination, we begin to feel the scale of what that image represents. Not a diminishment, but a revelation. A shift in perspective so gentle and yet so profound that it settles into the heart like a slow-falling feather. On that tiny dot live millions of species plants reaching for sunlight, animals weaving through forests, humans building cities, telling stories, singing lullabies to their children. For thousands of years we believed ourselves to be at the center of creation, the pivot around which existence turned. Yet from deep space, Earth is quiet, unassuming, a single grain of cosmic dust drifting in a sunbeam. Sagan continued on a mote of dust suspended in the sunbeam. Everything we know, everything we cherish, everything we fear lies on that mote. Every king and peasant, Every poet and scientist, every child who ever felt joy, every heart that ever broke, every moment of triumph and every moment of tragedy. The pale blue dot is not just an image, it is a lesson, a soft reminder of humility, a call for unity. Because if all of life is contained within that fragile circle of light, then our divisions, nations, borders, ideologies become small shadows on an even smaller stage. Sagan reflects, our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe. His voice gently dissolves these illusions, not with judgment, but with perspective. We realize with a slow, deep exhale that the universe does not revolve around our conflicts. The stars do not pause for our disagreements. Galaxies do not bend for our pride. Earth is a world without edges when viewed from 3.7 billion kilometers away. No borders, no nations, only a delicate blue shimmer suspended in darkness. And in that shimmering dot lies something miraculous. Life, awareness, meaning. Despite the universe's vastness, despite Earth's cosmic tininess, this tiny point of light is the only home consciousness has ever known. Every emotion you felt, every thought that has crossed every human mind, all of it has unfolded on that pixel. This perspective does not make us insignificant, it makes us extraordinary. For in all the observable universe, in its trillions of galaxies and its ocean of stars, this is the one speck known to cradle life. The one speck known to host minds capable of wonder. The one speck that has produced beings who look up at the night sky and try to understand their place in it. Humanity's ability to reflect, to imagine, to love, to worry, to create art, to explore the unknown, these are not small things. They are cosmic miracles. The pale blue dot is a reminder that life, though fragile, is profoundly valuable, that kindness matters, that compassion matters, that caring for one another matters because we share the same tiny world drifting through an unfathomably vast darkness. From this distance, Earth appears peaceful, silent, whole, and yet we know that on its surface billions of stories unfold simultaneously, each one important to the person living it. The pale blue dot teaches us that these stories are happening together, that everyone you meet is carrying their own universe of thoughts and fears and dreams. It invites us to soften, to breathe, to hold our lives with gentleness. For if we can grasp the scale of the cosmos, we can also grasp the rarity of each human life within it. Sagan's final words on the subject remain some of the most powerful ever spoken to me. It underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Tonight, as you let your thoughts drift and your breath settle, imagine Earth again, not as a map, not as a globe, but as that tiny dot. Imagine the sunlight streaming past Voyager's camera. Imagine the quiet hum of interstellar space. Imagine what it feels like to be so small in scale, yet so vast in meaning. In the cosmic darkness, the pale blue dot glows gently, a reminder of our fragility, a symbol of our unity, a whisper of our shared destiny. And as you hold that image in your mind, allow a soft truth to settle within you. We are small, but we are together, and that togetherness is everything. The history of ideas from center of the universe to almost nothing. For as long as humans have looked up at the night sky, we have wondered, where are we? What is our place in all of this? Long before telescopes, long before rockets, long before the concept of galaxies even existed, early philosophers tried to make sense of the heavens. What they saw was a shimmering, orderly dome, stars fixed in place, planets wandering slowly, the sun rising and setting like clockwork. And from these observations, a story began. In the teachings of Aristotle, Earth sat immovable at the center of the cosmos. The heavens revolved around us in perfect spheres, crystalline and harmonious. To the ancient mind, this felt right. The ground beneath their feet was solid, the sky above seemed to turn, and so Earth, by intuition and by simplicity, was placed at the middle of everything. Centuries later, Ptolemy refined this idea into an elaborate system of cycles and epicycles, nested circles that describe the complex motion of the planets. It was beautiful in its geometry, comforting in its logic, and reassuring in its implication. Humanity lived at the cosmic center. For 2 millennia, this belief shaped cultures, religions, and the very structure of human thought. To be at the center gave us meaning. It anchored our existence. It made the universe feel intimate and purposeful. but truth like light has a way of slipping through even the narrowest cracks. In the 16th century, Nicholas Copernicus proposed something radical, something almost unthinkable. The sun, not Earth, sits at the center of the planetary system. Earth moves, Earth orbits. Earth is not the still point of all creation. This shift was not merely scientific, it was emotional. It destabilized centuries of belief. It challenged the human ego in a way no idea ever had. And then came Galileo Galilei pointing his telescope toward Jupiter and discovering moons orbiting another world. It was irrefutable evidence Earth is not unique in having companions. The heavens were not arranged for our eyes alone. They followed their own laws indifferent to our longing for centrality. For this truth Galileo was silenced, but truth once seen cannot be unseen. The center slipped from our fingers, and science, like a gentle but relentless tide, continued to pull us outward. In the early 20th century, a young astronomer named Edwin Hubble gazed through the Great Telescope at Mount Wilson and saw something astonishing. Fuzzy patches of light once thought to be small, nearby clouds were in fact entire galaxies unimaginably far away. The Milky Way was not the universe. It was just one galaxy among many, a single swirl of stars floating in a boundless sea. With that realization, humanity was moved even farther from the center, not just from the center of the solar system, but from the center of the galaxy. Not from the center of the universe, but from any center at all. Because the universe does not have a center, it expands everywhere in all directions equally. Every point is a center of its own space, and every point is peripheral to something larger. Through Aristotle, we believed we stood at the heart of creation. Through Copernicus, we learned we orbit the sun. Through Galileo, we learned the heavens are filled with worlds. Through Hubble, we learned the universe is vast beyond all imagination. Each step moved us outward. Each discovery released us from illusions. Each revelation brought us closer to a humbling, liberating truth: we are almost nothing. Not nothing in value, but nothing in scale. Not nothing in meaning, but nothing in physical centrality. And paradoxically, this is what makes our place so beautiful. Because to be small in an infinite universe is to be open to wonder, open to discovery, open to the quiet humility that arises when we understand that the cosmos was not shaped around us. We are not the centerpiece. We are a part of the weaving a thread among billions. The night sky becomes richer when we let go of needing to be special in its architecture. The universe becomes more intimate when we stop insisting it revolve around us. And humility becomes not an obligation but a kind of peace. Imagine drifting through space, the stars spreading around you in a gentle arc. You no longer seek a throne, a pedestal, a privileged vantage point. You simply float calm and aware, part of a universe so immense that even galaxies become dust, and yet so delicate that a single photon can cross billions of years to reach your eye. Science, in its quiet persistence, has not pushed us into insignificance. It has invited us into truth. It has taught us to see the universe as it is vast, ancient, indifferent, and to find meaning not in being central but in being aware. To be aware is its own miracle. To wonder is its own form of greatness. To step back from the center is to step into clarity. And so from Aristotle to Hubble, from the ancient heavens to modern cosmology, the journey has never been about shrinking humanity. It has been about expanding our understanding. About learning that humility does not make us small, it makes us honest. It opens us to a sense of belonging that is quieter, deeper, more profound than any illusion of centrality ever could. We are not at the center. We are not even close. We are on the edge of an edge of an edge. And yet we are here, thinking, wondering, listening. In a universe where most things are silent, unconscious, or unknowing, our awareness becomes a lighthouse, a soft glow in the cosmic dark. A reminder that even almost nothing can hold a piece of the infinite inside it. So let this truth settle gently in your thoughts. You do not need to be the center of the universe. You are part of it. And that is enough. And as our place in the universe continues to drift outward from center to periphery, from periphery to near nothingness, another question begins to rise quietly in the mind. If life seems possible, even likely in so many places, then why in all this vastness have we not met anyone else? The Fermi paradox. If life can arise, why haven't we seen anyone? When we look out into the universe with its trillions of galaxies and uncountable stars, it feels almost impossible to imagine that life exists only here on this small blue world. The ingredients of life seem common: hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. The chemistry that unfolds in Earth's oceans could unfold elsewhere. And if planets like ours number in the billions, then surely somewhere in that expanse, life must have taken root again. And yet, the universe is silent. This silence is known as the Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who once asked a simple but haunting question: where is everybody? A question so gentle in its wording, yet so vast in its implications. A question that has echoed through scientific circles for decades. Because if life is possible, where is it? As we drift through this cosmic mystery, let us explore the possibilities, not with fear or urgency, but with the calm curiosity of a traveller at twilight watching the stars bloom across the sky. One, perhaps intelligent life is extremely rare. Though the universe may be filled with planets that could host life, the transition from simple chemistry to conscious beings might be unimaginably fragile. On Earth, it took nearly 4 billion years for life to evolve from microscopic cells to intelligent minds capable of building telescopes and spacecraft. Perhaps this long journey is unusual. Perhaps most life never progresses beyond simple organisms. Perhaps intelligence, curiosity, creativity, awareness is a rare spark that almost never ignites. In this view, humanity becomes a cosmic exception, a rare flicker in the universe's vast darkness. This is not a declaration of superiority, it is a reflection of improbability. A reminder that consciousness is fragile, precious, and profoundly unlikely, and that unlikely things carry extraordinary meaning. 2. Perhaps intelligent beings choose silence. Imagine a civilization older than ours by 1 million years, or 1 billion. What would they want? What would they value? Would they traverse the galaxy, or would they turn inward toward art, philosophy, or inner peace? Advanced civilizations might see communication as dangerous or unnecessary. They may have learned lessons we have not yet imagined, lessons urging restraint, anonymity, quiet. In the vast cosmic forest, perhaps the wisest beings choose to remain still. Perhaps they whisper only among themselves. Perhaps they watch from far away, hoping younger civilizations will grow gently without interference. This silence then is not abandonment. It is a sign of maturity. 3. Perhaps the distances are simply too vast. Even at the speed of our fastest spacecraft, reaching the nearest star would take tens of thousands of years. Communication too faces the tyranny of distance. A signal sent to a distant civilization might take thousands or millions of years to arrive, and their reply would take just as long to return. We are like children calling out into a canyon so wide that our own echoes return centuries later. The silence may not be a message. It may simply be the nature of space. Distances so great that time itself bends into irrelevance. Distances so vast that civilizations could rise and fall before a single signal completes its journey. In such a universe, loneliness is not a verdict, it is a geographical truth. 4. Perhaps we are the first or the last. Another possibility, quieter, more sobering, is that intelligent life is not just rare but incredibly young. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Yet for most of that time, conditions may not have allowed for complex life. Heavy elements had to form, stars had to settle, galaxies had to stabilize. Maybe only now in this cosmic moment has the universe created environments capable of nurturing consciousness. If so, humanity may be among the earliest civilizations, or perhaps we are the remnants. Perhaps many civilizations came before us, rising and falling like waves in a cosmic tide. Perhaps the universe once echoed with voices that no longer speak. Silence can come from absence as easily as from restraint. 5. Perhaps we are alone. This is the most delicate possibility of all, that in a universe of infinite beauty and endless stars, Earth may be the only cradle of life, the only home of consciousness, the only place where matter has learned to ask questions. It is a lonely possibility, but also a profound one, because if we are alone, our responsibility becomes immense. If consciousness blooms only here, then we carry something irreplaceable, something the universe cannot afford to lose. Humanity becomes not just a species, but a custodian of awareness itself, a lighthouse in an ocean of darkness. This idea does not diminish us, it elevates us. It transforms our smallness into meaning. It turns every act of kindness, every scientific discovery, every quiet moment of reflection into something precious beyond measure. A gentle understanding, the Fermi paradox, is not a riddle to be solved but an invitation to wonder. It reminds us that the universe is quiet but not empty, mysterious but not indifferent. Whether life is rare or common, silent or absent, what matters most is that we are here pondering the stars, listening for echoes, dreaming of connection. As you let your breath slow and your thoughts soften, imagine humanity as a flickering candle in the vast night, fragile, luminous, and entirely unique. Perhaps one day we will hear another voice. Perhaps one day we will speak across the dark, or perhaps the silence will remain a gentle backdrop to our own unfolding journey. Either way, the universe is listening. And in our search for others, we deepen our understanding of ourselves. And as this question, are we alone, lingers softly in the cosmic air, another realization begins to take shape. Even if the universe is silent, even if life elsewhere remains uncertain, the small world we call home holds a significance unlike any other, not because of its size, but because it is ours. The importance of Earth, small but unique. In a universe so large that even galaxies become dust and dust becomes silence, there is a single place we know where life has taken hold with breathtaking determination. A place where oceans breathe, where forests whisper in the wind, where billions of living beings rise each morning into the soft light of a star. That place is Earth. From the cosmic perspective, it is tiny, microscopic against the backdrop of superclusters and the vastness of the observable universe. But size is not the measure of significance. Scale does not define meaning. Within this small blue sanctuary, the rarest phenomenon we have ever encountered unfolds continuously: life. Earth is so far the only known biological haven in the universe. The only world where molecules dance into the chemistry of awareness. The only world where matter has learned to dream. When astronauts go to space, they often speak of the overview effect, a sudden wave of awe that washes over them when they see Earth suspended in darkness. They describe it not as a planet, but as something alive, a delicate shimmering orb wrapped in a thin layer of air glowing with blues and greens, fragile yet vibrant. From that distance, political borders vanish. The noise of human conflict fades. What remains is a single astonishing truth. All life we know lives here. Every story, every emotion, every heartbeat that has ever echoed across time. If life elsewhere exists, we have not yet found it. And if intelligent life is exceedingly rare, as many scientists quietly suspect, then humanity may carry a responsibility larger than we have ever imagined. A responsibility not given to us by any force or authority, but arising naturally from the uniqueness of our circumstances to protect life, to preserve awareness, to safeguard consciousness itself. In the entire cosmic ocean, we may be the only place where understanding has blossomed. We may be the only creatures who look at the stars with a mixture of curiosity and longing. We may be the only beings who ask why. Carl Sagan once suggested that humanity might be a way for the universe to know itself. It is a poetic idea, but also a scientifically profound one. Every atom in your body was forged in ancient stars. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, they were born in stellar furnaces billions of years before Earth formed. You are literally made of star remnants held together by the quiet miracle of biology. So when you think, when you feel, when you wonder about the universe is in a sense wondering about itself. Earth is the cradle of that awareness. A fragile cradle vulnerable to time, climate impacts, and our own choices. If we imagine Earth from billions of kilometers away, just a pale shimmer in sunlight, we begin to understand how delicate our home truly is. The atmosphere that shields life is thinner than paper when scaled to the size of the planet. The conditions that sustain us exist in a narrow, improbable balance. Forests breathe for us. Oceans regulate temperature. The magnetic field protects us from lethal radiation. Earth is not merely our home, it is our guardian. And yet Earth has no guardian but us. Here, on this tiny oasis in an immense vacuum, the only known spark of consciousness may reside. This does not make humanity the center of the universe, but it may make us its caretaker. When we look at our world with this understanding, something softens inside us. The urgency of daily concerns fades, replaced by a deeper feeling, an awareness of belonging, of responsibility, of quiet reverence. Earth does not ask for much. It does not demand praise or perfection. It only asks that we treat it with the same gentleness we wish to receive. Because if consciousness is truly rare, then losing it, whether through neglect, conflict, or failure to preserve the environment, would be a cosmic tragedy, a silence deeper than any we have yet encountered, a light extinguished in a universe filled mostly with dark. But awareness is still here, life is still here, hope is still here. Every time a child learns the names of the stars, consciousness is strengthened. Every scientific discovery is a new thread in the tapestry of understanding. Every act of empathy, every moment of compassion reinforces the truth that life is not only rare, it is worth protecting. Perhaps one day humanity will travel beyond Earth. Perhaps we will build habitats, terraform worlds, or journey to distant stars. But the spark that ignites such futures begins here, on this small world, with oceans and seasons, storms and sunlight, forests and tides, memories and dreams. Earth is not just a planet. Earth is a story, a fragile, miraculous story written across billions of years. And tonight, as you breathe slowly and let your thoughts drift, imagine Earth from space once more. A blue glow, a whisper of color in darkness, a cradle of life unlike any we have seen. Hold that image gently in your mind like a firefly cupped in your hands, because in the darkness of the cosmos, Earth is not insignificant. It is irreplaceable, and the awareness you carry, your curiosity, your emotions, your quiet presence is part of what makes this little world so extraordinary. So let the thoughts settle softly within you. Earth is small, but Earth is unique, and because of that, Earth is priceless. And as we reflect on the rare and fragile gift of life on Earth, a quieter truth emerges. This precious world will not endure forever, and yet the story of humanity may still continue, long after the planet itself has changed or vanished. The future Earth will die, but humanity may not. Every world, no matter how beautiful, carries within it the seeds of its own ending. Stars are born, shine for ages and fade. Planets form, flourish, and eventually fall silent. Nothing in the universe remains unchanged, not galaxies, not stars, not even the home that cradled our first breath. Earth is no exception. Tonight, as we drift into the deeper layers of cosmic time, we allow ourselves to imagine the distant future, not with fear, but with a gentle acceptance, as one might consider the changing of seasons. Earth has lived for 4.5 billion years, sustaining oceans, mountains, forests, and the delicate fabric of life. But its journey has an expiration date written quietly into the laws of physics. 1 billion years from now, the sun, which seems so steady and eternal, is slowly increasing in brightness. Starlight is not constant, it evolves. 1 billion years from now, the sun will be hotter, its radiation more intense. Earth's oceans will begin to evaporate its atmosphere, thickening with water vapor, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. Rivers will dry, clouds will thin. The blue oceans that once covered most of the planet will shrink to scattered lakes, then to steam, then to memory. Life will retreat into shadows, into caves, underground pockets, perhaps even deep oceans if any remain. Eventually, even hardy microbes will struggle to survive. Earth, the world that nurtured consciousness, will begin to fall silent. 5 billion years from now. If we drift further forward in time beyond imagination, beyond the scale of human history, the sun will enter its next and final major stage. It will swell into a red giant, its outer layers ballooning outward until they swallow Mercury, then Venus, and perhaps Earth as well. The crust will melt. The atmosphere will vanish. Every trace of life will be erased. The sky that once held sunsets, storms, moonlight, and starlight will be consumed by the star that made those things possible in the first place. Earth will not endure, but the story of life does not need to end with its cradle. If humanity endures, if we survive long enough, if we learn to protect ourselves, to cooperate, to build sustainably, to cherish what we have, then we may not face extinction with our home planet. We may step beyond it. Humanity may travel to new worlds, not to escape Earth, but to continue the miracle Earth began. We may live on moons orbiting other stars. We may terraform barren planets into blue worlds. We may ride generation ships across the galaxy, carrying seeds, memories, stories. We may become a multi-planet, multi-star species woven into the larger fabric of cosmic evolution. Earth may die, but humans, or whatever we become, may survive. We could spread across the galaxy, turning the silence between the stars into a tapestry of awareness. Consciousness would continue. The universe would keep knowing itself through us, and through whatever forms of life we help flourish. In this version of the future, Earth's death is not an ending but a transformation, like the falling of a leaf that enriches the soil for next year's bloom. If we fail, yet there is another possibility, one quieter and more heartbreaking. If humanity cannot endure, if war, neglect, climate collapse, or simple misfortune extinguishes our species, then the story of consciousness in this region of the universe may end with us. The universe is not filled with minds, it is filled mostly with silence, and if we vanish, that silence grows deeper. If we fail, the cosmos loses the only known voice that ever tried to understand it, the only eyes that studied galaxies, the only minds that wrote poetry about stars. On one small planet in one forgotten corner of a spiral galaxy, the light of awareness would go out. This does not mean humanity is doomed. It means humanity is precious, so precious that its future matters not just to itself, but potentially to the universe as a whole. We may be the only witnesses the cosmos has right now. We may be its memory keepers, its storytellers, its curious children. And because of that, we must care for the future not out of fear, but out of love, a gentle truth. What the future holds is uncertain, but uncertainty is not emptiness, it is possibility. The universe is vast enough to hold many futures, some bright, some dim, all resting on the choices of being small enough to fit their planet into a single pixel. We cannot control cosmic forces, but we can shape how we live, how we protect life, how we cherish the fragile spark of awareness entrusted to us. Earth will not survive forever, but humanity might. And consciousness, this delicate miracle, might spread like light across the galaxy. As you let these thoughts drift through, you soften your breath. Imagine the passing of billions of years as gentle waves rising and falling in cosmic rhythm. Imagine the sun swelling the earth fading and humanity rising like seeds carried on the wind. The universe has given us time. It is up to us to give that time meaning. In the end, the message is not despair. It is tenderness. A reminder that life is rare, that awareness is fragile, and that the future, even if uncertain, is something we can nurture with care, courage, and imagination. We are temporary. Earth is temporary. But meaning is not. Meaning is made through the choices we make now and the stories we leave behind. Tonight, as you rest, let this truth settle. Gently, Earth will change. Earth will end. But the story of consciousness does not need to vanish with it. If we choose wisely, the future can be luminous, filled with new worlds, new skies, and new chapters written by those who inherit our dreams. And as we look toward that distant future, uncertain, fragile, yet full of possibility, we return softly to the present moment, where all reflections converge into one final truth, that Earth's smallness does not diminish its meaning. It magnifies it. Earth is small but priceless. At the end of our long, peaceful journey through the cosmos, past the solar system, beyond the galaxy, through superclusters, and the vast cosmic web, we return at last to the one place in the universe we truly know. A world so small it vanishes when measured against the observable universe. A world so delicate it could be mistaken for dust. And yet, a world so precious that no scale of size can ever capture its value. That world is Earth. From the cosmic perspective, Earth barely registers. It is not a giant like Jupiter. It is not a blazing star. It is not a galaxy, nor a cluster, nor a filament of dark matter weaving through space. It is a single point of color, a trembling fleck in a vast sea of black. But to us it is everything. Every breath we've ever taken, every sunrise we've ever watched, every memory our species has carried across generations, the sound of laughter, the warmth of friendship, the art we've painted, the music we've composed, the stories we've told under starlit skies. All of it, every chapter of human existence has unfolded on this small sphere adrift in space. When we say Earth is small, we speak only of physical size, but significance cannot be measured in kilometers or light years. Significance is measured through experience, through consciousness, through the astonishing fact that this tiny world, is the only place in the universe where life is known to exist. Life not as a chemical concept, but as a miracle of sensation. Life that feels joy, life that feels sorrow, life that falls in love, that dreams, that creates meaning from the quiet spaces between moments. Earth is the birthplace of all emotions the universe has ever known. Without Earth, there would be no music, no poetry, no whispered conversations in the dark, no stories carried across campfires or encoded into books. In all the vast cosmos, Earth is the only haven of color, sound, memory, and thought that we can confirm. It is a sanctuary for meaning. Smallness, then, is not insignificance. It is context. It is perspective. It is a reminder that greatness does not depend on size. A violin does not need to be large to produce a symphony. A candle does not need to be bright to illuminate a room. And Earth does not need to be vast to hold everything that matters. Smallness can even be beautiful. Smallness invites humility, a gentle awareness of our place within something much larger. Humility softens us, opening space for awe and wonder. It reminds us that we do not own the universe. We are simply visitors exploring its immensity. And this awareness does not diminish us, it enriches us. For it is only by seeing Earth's tiny scale that we can grasp the true miracle of consciousness arising here. Imagine all of human history condensed into a single breath. Every triumph, every heartbreak, every breakthrough in science, art, and philosophy, every act of kindness, every lesson learned through generations. Now imagine how easily that breath could be lost, how fragile the conditions are that sustain life on this planet. The thin atmosphere, the stable climate, the protective magnetic field, the warmth of the sun at just the right distance. The universe offers few places where such balance exists, and Earth may be one of the rarest of them all. This fragility is not a weakness. It is an invitation to care, to pay attention, to recognize the privilege of existing on a world that hosts consciousness capable of love, curiosity, and reflection. Carl Sagan once said that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. If this is true, then Earth is the instrument of that knowing, the lens through which awareness blooms. Without Earth, the universe would be silent, unobserved, unremembered. Through us, the universe becomes witness to its own beauty. And so in this final moment of our journey, let us hold two truths gently within us. Earth is immeasurably small. Earth is immeasurably priceless. It is small because the universe is vast beyond comprehension. It is priceless because without it, consciousness might not exist at all in this corner of the cosmos. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine Earth from afar, a blue whisper floating in a black ocean. See how fragile it looks. See how lonely. Yet also see how full it is, how alive, how luminous with thought and emotion. You are part of that luminosity. Your experiences, your memories, your quiet reflections, they all contribute to the meaning of this tiny world. The journey through the cosmos teaches us humility, but the return to Earth teaches us meaning. Together, these truths form a kind of cosmic wisdom. We are small enough to need one another and meaningful enough to care for one another. Let this understanding settle softly inside you. Let it guide your breath. Let it lift the weight from your thoughts. The universe is vast. Earth is small. But within that smallness lies every reason to cherish the world and the life it holds. And as you drift into rest, remember, you are part of something rare. You're part of something beautiful. You're part of a tiny world that carries the only known spark of consciousness in all the stars we've seen. Small, yes, but precious beyond measure. And so is Earth, and so are you. Thank you so much for keeping me company tonight. Don't forget to subscribe so we can share many more stories together.